So I would imagine in law enforcement worlds, when you find two folks have been shot and killed, there's a flurry of activity, is that right? And so we're involved in dispatching units and resources at different places up there all happening.
Absolutely.
So is it safe to say units went to 412?
Correct.
And then I think, stepping on toes a little bit, was it pretty early on in the investigation, such as the 911 call, that you would develop a potential suspect?
Absolutely.
All right, so pretty boots on the ground pretty early. You have an idea of where this thing's going, is that right?
That is correct.
Then investigative steps to determine where Mr. Todd lives and how to reach him. There you go. Now, did you do that?
I did.
Okay, sorry about that. Cut you off a little bit. So, at some point in time, dispatch give you a phone number from Mr. Todd.
They did.
You remember what that phone number was?
I do.
What was that?
Area code 843-543-7668.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 35. See if you recognize that. Is that the phone number you just read before?
Yes.
All right. We move State's 35 in evidence. And so State's 35 is simple enough, 843-543-7668. So did you call this telephone number?
I did.
Okay, well, let me back up. Do you recall about what time that it went from the crime scene at 4012 North Fraser until law enforcement was still conducting crime scene investigations at that location, is that right?
That is correct.
And then you recall about how much time it transpired until law enforcement starts focusing on 512 Player Street, is that right?
No, sir, we were already, by the time I got the phone call, we were already focusing on that.
Because you've already generated for the 911 call and such, right? Aware of the content.
Correct.
I think we talked about this before, but we'll do it again. State's Exhibit number 2. That's already in evidence. That's an overall map of the relation map. 412 Fraser Street. And it's your understanding about different ways to drive there. Is there one particular way that your investigation showed Mr. Todd is alleged to have gone from 412 to 5258 Blair Street?
It's my understanding that you would have come across Brittenbury Road to Highway 51.
Okay, there's a question, there's a couple different ways to teach I can get that right. And I think that previous testimony, is this Brennan's Ferry? And this is 51? Come here, is that right? Okay. So units got there pretty quickly? And what was the information you had, I guess, and led you to believe that Mr. Todd was in the house?
Well, when units got to the house, his vehicle was there at the house. It was still hot to the touch or warm to the touch. There was some kind of noise in the house, perhaps a TV, and then at some point the TV went off, or there was no more sound. So at that time, we believed he was there.
Okay. And then tell us about what efforts were to communicate with Mr. Todd at 258 Blair Street.
All right, well, we have, the vehicles are equipped with loudspeakers, so we would have tried to call them out several times. When that didn't work, I contacted Central Dispatch to see if they had a telephone number for him.
Okay. And did they in fact have a telephone number? Yep, talked about that already. Let's show State's 33. Do you recognize that? What is that we're looking at?
This is the front side of Mr. Todd's trailer, and then all the vehicles you see here along the board.
Okay, next, here, number 1, we published this to the jury, Your Honor. First moves 33 in evidence. And this time we move State's 33 in evidence.
Any objection?
Same objection you have.
It says,
We published this one. This number 1, can you describe what the jury's looking at, please?
All right, so this is the front yard of the mobile home, and the front side is facing the picture, and then all the vehicles here are law enforcement.
Okay. So you have a fairly significant law enforcement presence there, 258. Now, according to your training and experience, and how would you characterize that situation that you were dealing with an individual that you suspected of murder?
Well, we would characterize it as a barricaded suspect.
Okay. And did you approach it from that perspective in your efforts to communicate and talk with Mr. Todd? Okay. I think you indicated trying to use loudspeaker, was that effective?
It was not.
What steps after that did you take to try to communicate with Mr. Todd?
I contacted Central Dispatch to get his telephone number.
And then, once you got the number, what did you do?
No answer, so I sent him a text. This is Melvyn Garret with the Sheriff's Office, please make a call so we can talk. And then eventually he called back.
Okay, at some point in time, Mr. Todd did call you back with that number?
He did.
That kind of confirmed to you that you got the right number, is that right?
Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna get into the details of the conversation, but what was the substance of the conversation, generally speaking? I don't have the details, let me be more concise. Was the subject of the communication trying to get Mr. Todd to surrender peacefully or come out?
Correct.
Were you effective in doing that? Did in fact Mr. Todd ultimately come out of the house?
He did.
And when he did so, I guess that he had a request, when he comes out, that he would be able to speak to his dad, is that correct?
Well, that was part of the surrender, yes.
I'm just being a little controlling through this part of it. During that conversation, Mr. Todd came out that he had a cell phone on his person. And was any of that last interaction captured on anybody's body camera?
It was.
Before I talk about that, do you recall what conversation, if any, you had with Mr. Todd and yourself when he came out of the house and was standing at the base of the steps? What were you doing at that moment in time, if you recall that moment? Let me show you what's been marked as states 36, that's not in evidence.
Just put him in handcuffs.
Okay. And what time is that, the timestamp on that body camera?
2:26 a.m.
So 2:26 a.m. on the 21st.
Correct.
All right, can I remove 36 in evidence?
Again, I don't have any objection to the photograph. Again, my objection is to any the conversations that occurred prior to this photograph and after.
All right. Your objection is noted on the record, though.
Thank you.
At this time, we put states 36, can you please publish, that's our number 5. Excuse me, our number 3. All right, let's get the timestamps, what's 02 of 26, 2:26 in the morning on the 21st.
Correct.
Is that you, Mr. Todd?
That is.
When he came out of the house, I think you testified earlier, that he was actually still on his telephone when he came out of the house?
Yes.
Did you or deputies beside you, take Mr. Todd's phone and evidence at that time?
We did.
You're gonna move to states 36, see if you recognize this.
This is the phone we're taking evidence.
This time, it states 38 in evidence, states 38.
Mr. Wilson,
Same objection.
all right, and you're stating on the record your objections overruled, and,
Thank you. And just routinely from law enforcement experience, why do you take cell phones such as this in evidence?
Well, we believe it would contain evidence of the crime, perhaps.
Specifically for potential communications perhaps?
Absolutely.
And are you aware whether or not, generally speaking, you follow up subsequently, or your agents with search warrants to develop the content of that cell phone? So I'm going to focus your attention very specifically relating to conversations, interactions you had with Mr. Todd following this moment in time. So following 2:26, did you ask any questions, public safety type questions to Mr. Todd at that moment in time?
Actually, the gun was in the house.
All right. And what was Mr. Todd's response to that moment in time?
No, sir.
And why do you ask those questions?
Well, we don't know who else is in the house, and we don't want to fall in anybody else's hands.
I think you indicated that that moment in time was captured on body camera footage.
Correct.
I'm specifically referring to, Courts Exhibit 6. We put a new sticker on that. That's States Exhibit 34. This time we'd like to move it into evidence and publish it for the jury.
Ms. Wilson.
Same objection.
All right, the objection is noted, overruled.
We take a look at that, or put that sticker on it, cover up, make sure that you identify that as a one that you've reviewed in the past and it's accurate. First up, United States 30. Opposed to the video? When you do? Can you bring that back up again? Line up. Got volume on that? Let's max it up and I'll hear anything. Start that over now.
Copy, Special copy of custody.
We need to see what's in the house.
Yeah, weapons in the house now. It's not in evidence. Okay, I'm gonna let you back talk with you.
You get my cell phone, we go there.
Yeah, don't worry about
We'll
it.
go or something. And hang up on.
All right, then ultimately you let Mr. Todd talk to his father for a little bit.
I did.
While that was going on, did law enforcement make any efforts to secure that house and search for a weapon?
I did.
Tell us what happened. Tell us what you did.
Okay, so they went and searched the house to make sure that there was no other people there, and when they were there, they didn't find a gun. So that let me know that the gun was not in the house.
So based on you not finding the weapon in the house, what did you do then?
I got Mr. Todd out of the car as he was getting ready to be transported to the sheriff's office, and I asked him where the gun was.
Did he answer you?
He did.
What did he tell you at that point?
He said he threw it out somewhere between the detention center and Highway 701.
So based on Mr. Todd's statement you about the location of the gun, what did the sheriff's department do?
They would have went and searched for it.
Now, did you find it there on the night of July 21st of 2022? So by way of clarification now, based on Mr. Todd's statement that directed law enforcement to a certain place, let's take a look at states 26. Let's try to do it just about. What would that area be that Mr. Todd referred to, telling you to keep doing the woods at a certain area? Where is between the detention center and 701?
It would be here, and then so yeah, it's out of different side.
So the detention center would be in this area,
Highway 701.
and that is the area of the detention center southbound that you all searched.
Correct.
And that is Round Ferry Road. Was a Springfield 9mm handgun recovered on the side of the road between the detention center and 701?
It was.
Albeit 2 years later. Thank you for your service. Please answer any more questions. Please answer the questions that Wilson asked you.
Mr. Wilson, cross-examination.
Thank you very much, John. On this night, as I understand it, you don't go to, where the bodies are, you go directly to Mr. Todd's house.
Correct.
And when you get there, are you the only officer there, or are there other officers already on the scene at that time?
Quite a few officers on scene at that time.
Quite a few. In fact, not only did you have a few officers, you had SWAT, you had how many patrol officers and blue lights and bullhorns and everything else, right?
Correct.
And is there any question in your mind, by the time you arrive, at the time you're having a conversation with Mr. Todd, you said you called him, or he called you, or he called you back, or whatever. By the time that happens, is there any question that you are intending to place him under arrest?
No question.
No question. All right. Now, let's talk for a minute about what you did. When Mr. Todd comes out of the house, you're standing there, he's placed under arrest, handcuffed, right?
Correct.
And you say to the solicitor that you asked him earlier if there was any guns in the house.
He did.
And he told you no.
He did.
Okay. How many guns did you find in the house?
I don't believe we found any in the house.
Yeah. He told you there were none, there were none. Right?
Correct.
Any question about that?
No question.
All right. Then, you say you had a second conversation with him, and this time you ask him again about the same gun, right?
He did.
Right. And this time you say, he tells you, yeah, the gun's thrown out on the highway somewhere between the detention center and Browns Ferry Road. Or Browns Ferry Road and the detention center, whichever way you want. Right?
Yes.
All right. Being the good officer you are, I'm sure you got a search party and you went out to Browns Ferry Road. And you searched from Browns Ferry Road to the detention center looking for this weapon. Right?
It's my understanding that the search ended somewhere in the area of Pringles Ferry.
Well, what's the question? The question was, did you, someone at your direction, organize an effort to go out and look for this alleged gun that you say Mr. Todd told you he'd thrown in this area?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you did. And how many people did you dispatch to find this weapon?
I think Investigator Griffith testified to 3 or 4.
3 or 4. And they searched during the daylight hours, right?
Yes.
And they did that because obviously it's more difficult to find a gun at night.
Correct.
How long did they search?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Half an hour, 10 hours, 3 days, a week, month? Any idea?
I wasn't there.
No matter how long it was they searched, they did not find a gun, did they?
They did not.
Right. After that one day, which would have been the day after this homicide, did you ever go back to this area? You, or when I say you, I'm talking about the department. Did you ever go back to this area to search again?
I
So
don't.
maybe we overlooked it. Let's go back tomorrow or next week and look again.
I don't know.
Well, who would know?
The investigator assigned to the case would know.
Which was who?
Investigator Kozenauer, the Lieutenant Kozenauer.
Lieutenant Cook. So he doesn't know, well, you don't know, is what you're saying.
I do not know.
But you didn't go back,
I go back.
and you were major, right?
I am now.
You were lieutenant back then.
Correct.
You didn't send anybody back out there to look for it, right?
Yes, sir.
After that one day. And 2 years later, a gun appears, right?
Correct.
2 years. And it's brought to you by a criminal, right?
I'm not familiar with Mr. Tilton, but
Well, now
we do have a gun.
come on now. You know that he was on duty for a crime violation, right? Which is why he was out there picking up trash along the road. Part of his duty. Right?
I personally wouldn't know that. but-
Personally, you wouldn't.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. After Mr. Tilton finds this gun, wouldn't you want to know who this character is? Who's bringing you this weapon? And where he got it from? And how of all people, he ended up with it? Wouldn't you want to know that? As a major in the department, in the sheriff's department, where serious homicide's been committed, and somebody all of a sudden, 2 years later, brings you a weapon, and, well, they don't even bring it to you, because Mr. Tilton didn't even bring it to you, did he?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know? What we do know is that 2 years, this gun did not appear. We know that, right? Is there any question in your mind that for 2 years, this gun did not appear?
Correct.
No question about that. Is there?
No question.
When this gun was surfaced, we use that word opposed to found. When this gun surfaced, wouldn't it be interesting to know the source? Wouldn't you want to know something about the person who's bringing it to you, who is giving it to you after 2 years? Wouldn't you want to know whether that person has some act, right, maybe, or is a bad person and looking for a deal to get out of trouble? Wouldn't you want to know that kind of thing about the person who's delivering something like this to you? Or maybe not.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure we would have looked into it.
All right. Well, who would have looked into it from the department?
Investigations.
Investigations would have looked into it. Have you discussed it with investigations?
I have not.
You have not. You knew you were coming here, right?
Correct.
And you knew you were coming here and that you were going to be asked questions about it, right?
Absolutely.
All right. But in spite of that, you don't know. Right?
No, I don't.
Now, solicitor asked you about the route that could have been taken by Mr. Todd. Actually, there are more than one route to Mr. Todd, from Mr. Todd's house to where the victims live, right?
Sure.
There's more than one route. And do you have any personal knowledge about which route he took?
I do not.
Or whoever took it? You weren't there, were you?
No, sir.
And you didn't see Mr. Todd driving to the home of 4012, did you?
No.
me ask you a question. When Mr. Todd, you say Mr. Todd told you that there was no gun in the house,
Correct.
right? You didn't believe it, did you? No. You wouldn't take his word for that, right?
No, of course
Right,
not.
which is why you searched the house, right?
That's in part.
Right, because he said, no, that wasn't gonna be enough. Take his word for that. So you searched the house and you still didn't find anything. Right?
Correct.
So we know he was telling the truth about that. Because if there had been a gun in there, you'd have got it and brought it in here, right? Absolutely. And let's talk about the gun on the road. Say he told you that he threw it out on the road between Browns Ferry and the detention center. If you go and look, 4 officers, how many ever, or however long they're out there, daylight, metal detectors, no gun. No gun. And then 2 years later, do you know who Mr. Tilton contacted in the department about the gun?
No, sir, I don't.
Do you know whether or not it was actually an officer who went to Mr. Tilton based on some information he received from a third person?
I do not know.